Hello and welcome to our Sunday reset. I'm so glad that you're joining me on whatever day that you're watching this. I wanted to share with you my Sunday sort of routine. I don't know that it's exactly a routine because I don't do it every single week, but sometimes the daily, tidy ups aren't enough to keep things clear and as clean as I would like them. I also tend to struggle with buying groceries and planning for meals. And so on this particular day that you're seeing here, I went through our refrigerator and also our freezer. I took every single item out of the freezer and made a plan for how we were going to use the food that we already have. Unfortunately, I did have to get rid of some things that were just expired or past their prime, but anything that was salvageable, I made sure to put on our menu in the next week or two. If we haven't met yet, my name's Megan. I am a 40-year-old mom. I've been a stay-at-home mom for the last 2 years since my daughter, that you can see here, since she was born. But I recently started a brand new counseling business with a couple of my friends from my last job that I had. So things are kind of crazy around our house. My husband works really hard. He has a full-time job. He is the main breadwinner in our family. And then I also have a 12-year-old son who may or may not, I don't think he makes an appearance in this video, but he is also in the mix, and we have lots of activities and things that he is involved with as well. So every day I try to do my evening routine to keep the house under control. I've been doing a much, much better job of being consistent with that. But every so often, I think it's important to do a full reset. So here you can see the freezer is quite packed, and the refrigerator is also quite packed and disorganized. I'm not going to show you the whole process. I'm just going to use magic, the magic of editing, and you will see, wow, everything is magically gone. So that's fantastic. It actually took me probably about 20 minutes. And then what you're about to see here with the freezer, I think took me maybe another 20 to 30 minutes. I took every single thing out and just really took a good hard look at all of these items. I wish I could say that I was going to be better about my grocery shopping and meal planning, and I am hopeful that one day I will be better about it, but it is just a real struggle for me. This is all the stuff that was in our freezer. So the reason that this has been a struggle is that I often have what I call like aspirational plans. So you're going to see a lot of smoothie related items here, like frozen fruit and things like that. And so those are items that I buy sort of on a whim when I'm feeling like I need to get back on a health kick. And then a lot of the other items are things that I think might be good for our family or that I wanted my son to try. And for whatever reason, they just didn't make the cut on most days. So they've just been living in the freezer for too long. And I think that's where maybe we can talk a little bit about discipline and planning and sticking to a schedule or a system, because where I struggle is not believing that I'm a disciplined person, right? For most of my life, I have just kind of gone with the flow, and wherever the wind takes me is sort of where I end up. But that doesn't serve me when it comes to my finances, when it comes to my, my weight, my health, all of these things. It is becoming abundantly clear to me that I need to be a little bit more disciplined in my life. And the reason that a lot of these foods, haven't made the cut, so to speak, is that we, as a family, one day we might say, oh, I don't feel like having whatever was on the menu for today. Oh, I'd rather, get takeout from, the Mexican place down the street. Oh, I'd rather not cook tonight because I'm tired or I'm in a rush. And so that's where we end up with all of this excess food is a lot of times just because of lack of sticking to a plan, and then other times honestly just not having a plan, just straight up not even having a plan for the week. I just sort of buy food that I think looks good, and then each day I'm trying to figure things out. So over the last couple of weeks, I've really been trying to make a grocery list, make a plan for the week. And even if I don't eat, the specific meal that I have written down on the day. So let's say, on Monday we're going to have spaghetti, and Tuesday we're going to have salmon, and Wednesday we're going to have hamburgers. Even if I mix up the days, at least I have a plan in general for the week. And I know that I have those general ingredients so that I could make any of those meals on any of the days. And actually, this week, I think I did a really good job. We are now on Wednesday as I'm recording the voiceover here. And we have done really well with using the food that we bought. I did a Costco run on Sunday on the day that you're watching here. And I was so proud of myself. I planned ahead. I thought about what I wanted the family to eat for the week, and I only bought those items. I think the only thing I went a little overboard on at Costco was different breads. You'll see that a little bit later, but I bought some fresh bread that, if you don't use it quickly, it goes bad. So I've been trying to make sure that the family uses the fresh bread for like sandwiches and with dinner and things like that so that we're not wasting it. And sorry for some of the camera work here. I just sort of let things roll and move the camera around as I'm moving through the kitchen. I would say that I spend the majority of my energy on dealing with the kitchen and the dining space. I think for a couple of reasons. One, that is an area that we use multiple times a day as a family. We, obviously for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we have to be in there. We have to use the different items like the cups and the plates and the silverware. We also have to use cooking utensils and pans and pots. And so in that way, this room is just constantly being utilized, and all of the items in it are being utilized multiple times a day. So it's just a lot to keep up with. Here you can see me setting up my oats overnight for the next morning. You got to put the oats in there and the milk. But yeah, so as far as keeping up with everything, it's just this constant churning. Like if you don't clean as you go and put things away immediately, it piles up so quickly. And I know there's been a lot of people, not a lot, but several people comment that their preferred method of keeping their home tidy is to clean as they go. And I am really working towards that. I would love if cleaning as I went became my default. And that is a goal of mine for me to keep working on that and challenging myself to do that. But for the majority of my life, I have been one of these people who just sort of leaves things where they lie. When I was younger, like a teenager and a tween, I would bring, cups and dishes into my room and just let them sit and mold, honestly. I know that's really gross, but that's what I would do. And every once in a while, it would become like noticeable to me, and I would gather everything up and go take it in the kitchen and clean it out. But for the most part, I just sort of allowed myself to live in clutter and chaos. I didn't really mind it. At least not on a conscious level. I wasn't bothered by it. I didn't invite a lot of people over. I never had a lot of guests. And so to me, it was just like, well, this is how I choose to live, and so what? But as I've gotten older, and of course, as I live with other people and have to share space and be in charge of keeping things, oh, that's for ants. I will talk about the ants in 1 minute. But yeah, as I've been in charge of like trying to keep up and just maintain a home and a household for a whole family, it has become abundantly clear that clutter is my enemy and that leaving things for later is like one of the worst things you can do. That's like the worst lie that I ever tell myself is, oh, I'll do that later. So I'm trying to be better about just doing it now, whatever it is, like right here, like the mail. I need to just address those things as they come into the kitchen or into my life. Like just deal with it immediately. Don't put it off and let it sit around because future me is also not going to want to deal with it. So yeah, back to the ant traps. That was something that I threw away a little bit ago. We have a huge ant problem right now. Right, they are currently these little tiny, almost like microscopic ants, but for a while there were these really big, fat ones. And those, I don't know which ones are worse, honestly, because at least the big ones tend to like not want to be on you or near you, and the little tiny ones do not care. Like they will get on your hands and your clothes, and it is so disturbing. So that is yet another reason why it's so important to me lately to keep these countertops clean, like not just tidy, not just free of clutter, but actually clean, like free of anything sticky, anything sweet, anything that would be tempting to the ants. So that has been another part of our battle. And those silly little ant traps did nothing. I don't know if I didn't know how to use them properly or what the problem was, but I don't think they did a darn thing. So my husband actually just bought some new ones that might be a little bit more heavy duty. Once the kitchen starts looking like this clean countertop you can see, I start feeling so much better. I start feeling so much more hopeful. It just makes me happy and feel accomplished to see it like that. Even if I know it's not going to last in that exact pristine condition for very long, it feels so nice to just have that as a base, and it makes the daily like evening tidying so much easier. This right here, cleaning the microwave and the stove, those are things that I probably should do every single week, if not more often. I again try to kind of spot clean it with the oil and the splatter and things like that. I try to spot clean it as I go each day when I cook, but there's always, something kind of accumulating there, mostly because I just get distracted when I finish cooking. Either my daughter needs something or, when dinner is over, it's time to start the bedtime routine for her. So there have been times where as I'm doing my evening tidy up routine, I just sort of like gloss over this area and don't pay a lot of attention to it. So I think a once a week, pay close attention to this area will be helpful. And then I know that there's people out there who have like a cleaning schedule. Maybe they have like some sort of template or calendar or reminders or something where they, once a week they do certain things and once a month they do other things. I have a couple of household, activities, chores that are like that. Like I wash my bed linens once a week. I wash our towels, once a week. And we have a couple of different sets of towels, but yeah, so I have those kind of routines, but in terms of like cleaning, the kitchen is one of those things where I rarely do a deep clean, but I probably should. And then the bathroom, that is my other, like, I don't know, Achilles heel. That's probably not the right analogy, but it's whatever. It's not a strong point for me. I don't clean our bathroom as frequently, especially our master bathroom, because my husband and I are the only two who really use it. And then of course, like our toddler, we give her a bath in there. But it's not like there's a lot of outside eyes on it. And so it's easy to let that be the last thing that I take care of. My son's bathroom in our main hallway, I do tend to look at that a little more often just because that's where, if we do have somebody stop by or a guest come over, that's the bathroom they would use. So I do check in and tidy up that one more often. But yeah, the master bathroom, I just really struggle to prioritize. And you will see me work a little bit on our bedroom coming up here. I think that's something that I would like to reassess as far as priorities. They say like if everything's a priority, then nothing is a priority, right? So it's hard for me to prioritize when the kitchen needs this constant attention. It feels very difficult for me to prioritize anything else. But in a perfect world, I would really like our master bedroom, or I guess we're not supposed to call it a master bedroom anymore, our primary bedroom. I would really like this room to be more of a sanctuary for my husband and myself. It has become just another kind of dumping ground. I mean, the floors are usually fine. We're not leaving a lot of clutter on the floors, but our bedside tables are kind of a mess. Our dresser, like I said, you'll see that pretty soon. That is a huge dumping area. And then like I said, the master bathroom or the primary bathroom, that just kind of gets forgotten. Oh, but this looks fantastic. I am so happy. So happy for the kitchen. It always, yeah, it's just so satisfying. It's so nice when it finally looks good. And don't ask me why we still have a pumpkin from Halloween, like a trick-or-treat pumpkin. I honestly don't know. It's just one of those things that we never put away. All right, and here we are in my daughter Amelia's room. I finally bought some blackout curtains, which you can see are up and on the windows. And so what I'm folding right here are the light little short curtains that I had in there before. When her room was really just a playroom and she didn't sleep in here, the lighter curtains were perfect. But we recently, I'm so proud of us, in the last week or two, like week and a half, we've started putting her to sleep in her bed. And so in order for that to work, especially during naps in the middle of the day, we realized that we needed the blackout curtains like we have in our main bedroom. So I'm so glad I got those. Each panel I think was like $12 or $11.99 at Target. There were other curtains, blackout curtains that were right next to these that were like, I don't know, $30, $50 per panel. I mean, they didn't look that much more appealing, honestly. So I don't know. I felt pretty good about the cost of these. I'm happy with them and they do the job just fine. So I know I've worked on this room many times in previous videos. It's always a work in progress, but the reason that we have all of this extra stuff and why I wanted to address this room on my Reset Sunday day was because I had bought a bunch of toys, like all those musical instruments and stuff. I had bought some toys like that, and then I had taken some of my daughter's other toys that she wasn't really using, and I had bought those white bins, and I had taken them to my counseling office a few months ago, or a couple months ago, I guess. We haven't had it that long. So I had taken all those items to my office because I had this vision that I was going to run some like baby and toddler music classes and play groups. And I did one and it was okay, but it gave me so much anxiety trying to plan it and trying to market for it. And I realized that I would just feel a lot better if I focused on individual counseling and just charging people for that and not trying to recruit, 5 or 10 moms and their babies for these music classes. So there are plenty of other places around that offer those kind of activities for kids. I'm just putting that on hold. But the point of all that is to say that I finally brought a lot of those items back home. So I'm just kind of taking stock of what my daughter really does enjoy playing with. And then I'm putting some of these other things aside so that we can put them away and maybe like either get rid of them. There was some stuff that I'm going to donate, some stuff I'm going to toss, and then some of these toys I'm just going to put in her closet for right now, and maybe we'll rotate through and switch her toys out again in the future. But yeah, that's what this particular activity was about for me on this Sunday. I just wanted to make sure that her room was tidy, that everything was up off the floor, and that all of the toys that she actually likes and uses were accessible to her, and that anything that she doesn't really like or doesn't play with is out of the way. Oh, now here we are in my bedroom. Oh boy. Yeah. I think I've cleaned off this dresser, I don't know, a million times. But the first thing I like to do when I tidy up our bedroom is make the bed, because I feel like that has the biggest impact on just reducing the visual clutter of the space, since we have a king size bed and it is the largest thing in the room. I was a little confused what I wanted to do with the curtains, but I think I made the right choice, just keeping them open. And here you'll see me just going through some of this clutter. Like, these books were things that I took out of my daughter's room the last time that I did a declutter. So we need to deal with those. I had a yoga mat that the dogs had ruined, unfortunately, so that needs to just go in the garbage. We've got some swimsuits up top. We've got a bunch of clothes that I'm going to sell of my daughter's. I buy Little Sleepy's pajamas, not sponsored, but like the ones I'm wearing right now, those pajama bottoms are from Little Sleepy's, and then all of the pajamas that my daughter wears are from Little Sleepy's. And so she has recently just outgrown her last size of those little zipper pajamas, and I'm going to sell them because there is a resale value for those. But I hate shipping them, so I don't know. If you have any tips on cheap shipping, let me know. Oh, all right. So here we are. I didn't film my Costco trip, but I did sneak out of the house and go to Costco. So this is my haul from Costco. I spent like just absurd amount of money at Costco this week. But oh, and those are some good ribs. But yeah, I spent an absurd amount of money at Costco, but I did a lot of shopping for things that are going to last me a couple of weeks. Like all of those yogurts, those are going to last a couple weeks. The bread should last at least one whole week. A lot of the dinner items are going to last more than a week. And then I also purchased like diapers and paper towels and like more dish soap and things like that. So it was a very expensive trip, but I think it will be a good one because usually if I just go shop at a regular grocery store, like or at Walmart or, whatever the case may be, I usually end up having to go back to the store at least one additional time each week. So I'm hoping that this Costco run is going to last us for a little bit. Now, what you'll see is that I did shower and change, as you can see. I did put on a different outfit for when I went out. I didn't wear my pajamas to Costco. But yeah, what I'm doing here as part of my Sunday reset is making some vegetables for the next day. I'm going to roast some vegetables. It ended up actually coming in really handy. I did these vegetables and then you'll see me making some bacon next. And the beauty of doing that ahead of time is that when I made dinner on Monday night, I ended up not having to cook a vegetable. I already had them ready to go. And that was a huge time saver. I also liked having the bacon ready just so we can make BLTs. One of my biggest areas of struggle is that I do intermittent fasting. And so I really focus on making dinner for my family. Like that seems to be the biggest meal that I think about. But I don't actually eat dinner with my family. I choose to do my fasting. I like to eat in the morning. I'm very hungry in the morning. And so I don't like to wait, until late in the afternoon to eat. So I tend to try and finish eating by 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon, sometimes 3. So I usually don't eat dinner with my family. So my biggest struggle is that I have not really been prioritizing planning for lunch. So me making this bacon ahead of time and me roasting some vegetables ahead of time was really helpful in setting myself up for having those items available to me and easy to eat and make healthy choices. I mean, I know bacon's not like the healthiest choice, but just having those roasted green beans, having the roasted broccoli, I was able to eat that for lunch the next day and just munch on those things and feel good about that. So that's another thing that as I'm preparing for the week on Sundays, I like to think about, or I am hoping that like I did this Sunday that you're watching, I'm hoping that moving forward, I will continue to plan for myself for my lunches. And I am getting better about eating leftovers. Like we had raviolis, and I was able to have that for one of my lunches. So there was some left over from dinner and I just heated it up the next day. So I'm trying to be better about that too. Like again, with the food waste, right? Like not letting all of this food go to waste. Just because I didn't eat it at dinner doesn't mean I can't eat it the next day. Oh, and there's that beautiful bacon. Do you remember that like Bush's Beans commercial? Like where the dog says, roll that beautiful bean footage. I'm going to have to find it now because I'm obsessed. But that was my beautiful bacon footage. Also, every time I have to open any of these Oh, my daughter's in a T-Rex phase right now. If you see her wandering around with her little T-Rex arms, she's literally pretending to be a T-Rex. It is adorable. Um, and very ferocious, of course. But I love those cabinets with the little dots on it. We have to use a magnet to release the child safety locks, and it is so annoying, but also so important because I don't want my daughter to, ingest anything she shouldn't or get into anything she shouldn't. But I am looking forward to the day where she gets, old enough to know not to put things in her mouth. So here's me doing some dishes. I feel like, that's the never ending task. I won't make you watch me do it for too long here, but I feel like dishes probably took up at least an hour of my attention on that day. And every day I feel like dishes take up an absurd amount of time, but that's okay. I'm considering putting my son in charge of it. I know I've been encouraged by some of my viewers to delegate and make myself the manager rather than the do everything-er, or the supervisor instead of the do everything yourselfer. But I honestly am having a hard time letting go. Like, I want the dishes to be put away a certain way. I want them to be put in the dishwasher a certain way. And so I tend to just do it myself. But I do recognize, I do understand, right? Like, developmentally, I am doing my children a disservice by not giving them that task and like spending the time and energy that it would take to really teach him, especially my son right now because he's old enough, really teaching him how to do it and helping him learn those life skills. But it's always just such a battle, right? Like, I don't know about you and your kids if you have kids, but it always just feels like such a battle and such it's just a drag, man. It's kind of a drag to have to argue with somebody, especially if, you've been working all day, or if I've been dealing with a toddler all day who also is resisting what I'm asking her to do. It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's just kind of the last thing you want to do at the end of a long day is try to coerce and cajole your kid into doing the bare minimum. So, I don't know. Maybe some protein. Oh, here I am. This is something I do almost every night, or at least on the nights before I go to my office and see clients. If I have to leave the house early in the morning, I make sure that I pack like all the non-perishable things in our lunch boxes the night before so that I don't have to do it in the morning. So here I'm putting some protein shakes in the fridge so they'll be ready. I'm putting some snacks in my lunchbox, and I'm also getting my daughter and husband and son's lunchboxes out because they also are going to be out of the house the next day. And here I am hiding the Nutella snacks. Yeah, my son always finds them, and it's fine. Like, I honestly don't care if he eats them. It's just when he leaves a mess. Like, if he's gonna eat in the middle of the night, that's totally fine. That's up to him. But like, at least clean up the evidence, dude. At least throw it away for me, so that I don't have more mess in the morning. Oh, children. It's okay. This is normal life, right? Like, this is probably just karma from when I was a kid. I used to use my mom's like super expensive shampoo and conditioner, and I had no idea like how much those things cost at the time, and I would just use like gobs full, and she would be so upset with me And I just didn't get it. I was just like, well, it smelled really nice and it made my hair super soft. So, just going to use it. And it's kind of the same thing with my son now, right? Like if it's there, it's his. And as it should be, right? Like everything is for everybody in the family, but especially food, right? Especially food. It's not something I want to ever restrict from anybody, but it is just funny as a parent now, sort of seeing how kids' brains operate and like how they don't realize the impact that they have on the others in their homes. Here I am. I just cut up the banana bread that I bought from Costco just to put it into like more reasonable portions. And here I am cutting up some raisin apple bread from Costco. I told you I got an absurd amount of bread from Costco. And yes, so I'm pre-cutting that because I find that if I don't pre-portion it, that it goes to waste because nobody else wants to take the time to to slice it when it's time to eat. So, and I don't either. Like I would rather reach for something that's easy to grab. So, oh, and yeah, I kind of butchered the last part of that bread, but it's okay. It's still delicious. The Costco bakery, man, that is the best. All right, so now, yeah, so see earlier my counters were beautiful and clutter free, and now you can see that all of my Costco stuff is cluttering it. Oh gosh, and here is my pantry. You guys, I'm gonna be honest with you. I did not clean this out. I'm I'm just showing it to you because just to show you that this was a mess and a disaster and where I'm trying to put things, but it definitely needs its own episode soon. Speaking of areas that need their own episode, the basement downstairs area, man, this has already been featured in several of my videos, but we just cannot seem to keep it together down here. And, maybe one day I'll figure out the key to this, but for now, this is how it is. And on this particular Sunday, I honestly just did not have the time or energy to address it, but I think that's something I'm going to do in the next couple of weeks. I also had to get some stains out of one of my daughter's rompers. I did a bunch of laundry. I'm getting her outfit ready for the next day. That's just another way that I like to set myself up for good mornings, but I did not want to fold this laundry. But yeah, I've just been focusing a lot on wanting to set myself up, like being kind to future me, I guess you could say. So on Sunday evenings, and then actually, like, just on a lot of evenings in general, I like to kind of think about what's coming up and prepare for it. So here on Sunday night, I was changing out our weekly menu and then also updating our calendar. And I like to have both of these things just kind of out in the open in the kitchen area so that, well, so the whole family can see if they really wanted to, but also so that I can see and know, what my options are. And then I also keep it on my phone as well. So here's kind of what my list looks like on my notes app. And like I said before, I am also really trying to focus on healthy lunches and snacks for myself so that I don't get caught up and start eating just like random snacky food or eating way too many desserts because I'm hungry and bored. And also, I've been really proud of myself. I've been working on having a minimum of 8,000 steps per day. My total before, my average was about 4,500. So since I've been more mindful in the last couple weeks, I've really stepped it up, pun intended. And now I still, on this day though, I had only done like 5,400 steps, so I still needed to take a walk with my family at the end of the day, which we did. I'm proud of myself. And I've also been losing weight because of these changes. I've lost about 4 pounds in the last couple of weeks. So something's working, but I am exhausted. I can't wait to share more about my weight loss journey and health journey with you in an upcoming video. But for now, that's it. That is how I reset my Sunday for the week. So I hope you had a great time, and I will see you in the next video.